Welcome to the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast with host Jacqueline Burke. Today's special guest is Anne Brunsmann.
Thank you for joining us on our podcast, Anne. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
That's good.
I hope
Well,
you all are doing good too.
yeah, we're doing really well. On our podcast, as you know, we go back to our childhood and we like to spend some time with that little girl and, respect her and talk about what her wishes were and what she saw for her life at such a young age. Can you tell me about a favorite childhood memory?
Um, well, it's it's interesting because I was trying to think um, of of a favorite childhood memory, and I couldn't think of any at the time because I came into this lifetime quite sensitive. Um, so no matter what anybody said or if they felt how they came across, I would hear the truth of their thoughts and their feelings. So it's kind of interesting with the human race because um, there's so much going on with us all the time that it's so easy. Uh, I don't know. Can we start over? No, I'm just kidding. No, but, but it's yeah. So anyway, so I was thinking about that question, and my probably the most my most favorite memories were when I was little and I walked out into the garden and I'm not sure how old I was. I think I was quite small, but I used to go out there and I used to feel the petals of the flowers
Oh,
because my
nice.
parents had this beautiful garden. And I used to be able to feel the frequencies of each petal of each flower was different.
Mhm.
And I knew I was learning to touch them um, and feel, to be able to learn how to apply my touch
Yeah,
and to what I had to do to feel the frequencies.
yeah,
And to me, that was a good memory because it felt pure to me.
yeah.
Like there
That's
was there
amazing.
was no other thoughts or um, feelings around that. It was just a pure essence of just beingness kind of thing.
That's very,
And yeah, and the um, let me see here. um, the other memory that I remembered was when I was a bit older. I'm not sure how old I was, maybe about 8 or so. And I was outside playing frisbee with myself, and um, uh, and the frisbee went onto the glass house
oh,
where the vegetables were grown and everything. And there was no one around, so I it was kind of interesting because when I remembered this memory, I knew in my personality that I had to kind of take care of things, that I wasn't to depend solely on other people, because from my experience so far, I couldn't, right?
oh,
I was always picking up something.
yeah, yeah. I totally understand. Yeah.
Getting emotional.
Oh,
So anyway, so I went in the house and I went out the window on top of the glass house.
oh,
Now this was a handmade glass house by my dad, and it wasn't like it was solid, but there was just natural pieces of wood that were between each pane that he had put in. But I like this memory because I had to learn at it was kind of a learning process for me where I went out on my hands and knees, and as I went across to the frisbee, I had to balance the energies and the weight in my body with each movement I made. At the same time, I remember feeling the energy all around me, and I had to keep everything in balance. Otherwise, I knew I would go through. But I had to keep even that thought separate from me because I knew even that thought might affect me to go through the glass.
Oh, wow.
So my focus kept on the frisbee and learning, well, not really learning, but accessing the information in my own body at the time um, to balance each movement out there. And I remember getting the frisbee because it was probably at least half or a little over halfway. And I got the frisbee and I turned around and I started going back. And I remember as I was going back, as I shifted my hands and the weight of my knees, my thought process, my focus went off.
Oh.
And I knew as soon as I did that, that was not good.
Oh.
And I went through the glass.
Oh my goodness.
So it's kind of interesting recalling that memory because I knew it was I knew I was learning energies from a young person.
Okay.
And not only from what I felt with everybody and my surroundings, but also starting to learn how to use the energies in my body with the atmosphere around me and the physical uh, physical the material things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting because so many different experiences that I have had since a child has encompassed that and learning about people and observing and feeling and trying to figure out who I am from very young because even when I was just born, I remember my mom holding me as a baby, and I remember feeling, like even one of my siblings, um, you know, they acted as if they were happy that I was there, and part of them was, but I could feel what they really felt,
Oh.
and that hurt me as a small child, but I expected it as well. I knew these things before I came into this lifetime. I knew like I believe we choose our families
Yeah.
um, and for different reasons and often they're the hardest journeys we take is what we experience through our
Yeah.
own family.
Yeah.
It's what everybody says now. It's like, oh, my family isn't necessarily blood. It's because we end up finding people that truly see and appreciate and honor who we are, so we can be who we are and
Yeah.
become who we're meant to be, and that's who we always gravitate to
Yeah.
and around and for support when we need it. But the families we're born into is for a specific reason, whether it's good things we experience or not.
Yeah.
There is truly learning in everything, and I don't believe a lot of my clients I work with, some of them are still in places of blaming, and it's truly about us learning to take the responsibilities for our own choices before we even came here,
Yeah.
because we chose with Creator what we were going to experience. There's a lot of there's a lot of surprises in there too, because we can't control other people's actions.
Yeah.
But for the for the most part, though, um, we've designed our own picture, so to speak,
Yeah.
and or our own book. And through our ages and choices that we make, we keep on turning the pages and discovering new chapters that we can either rewrite or keep what we wrote and add on to it and expand with it
Yeah.
as we expand and remember, and as we get more braver to be who we are, you know. So
Amazing.
yeah, so what I found with going through the glass house, really, um, when I was thinking about that, I thought, wow, you know, that's a lot of what I'm doing now with my clients and how I work with um, all the energies that I work with. You know, I've when I work with somebody's field, for example, um, I call it a dance. So I alter my own frequencies and energies of my body and my field so that I can work with them, so that they feel supported instead of just somebody different coming in the picture and bombarding them and here, let's do this.
Yeah.
It's very important to have that harmony and balance, and as much as they open and are ready, if they're ready to go to the stars, we go to the stars with them. If they're ready just to deal with what's inside their bodies or in their immediate life, then we go there and try to expand them a little bit, you know, to what's comfortable for them. Um, every every step we take is a process and an extension of ourselves. So our journeys are so special. Like every person is so special, I believe, and everybody's. We're all very similar in the same kind of, but yet we're all different and unique, and we have unique things to share. And you know, I've had so many clients that have come to me that said, you know, even with the massage, the way I work with massage therapy, um, they say, well, I've never had anybody that has been so thorough taking the posture and stuff. And but I don't believe that a massage therapist can truly give you a thorough good session without looking at your posture and what your body mechanics are doing. And, you know, um, you know, it gives them what they're paying for, basically,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and I've always believed that, you know, like I like to do my best. Like I'm still learning too. Like this earth life is really difficult for
Yeah.
most of us, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
sometimes
true.
it's like, oh my God, take me home.
Yeah.
But like, am I not done yet? But yeah, I've always believed when I got on my spiritual path that, you know, I wanted to um, do like heal all I needed to heal and do all what I needed to do so I didn't have to come back.
No.
And, you know, so and when I knew I was going to be working on people in the future doing massage therapy, for instance, I wanted I wanted to be the best I could. Like that to me that's so important to me
Yeah.
because you know in any profession that anybody does um, we all have experienced you know people from roofing to
Yeah.
dentists to anything
Amen. Yeah.
how thorough they are and how much they love the work they do
Yeah.
um, and and you know maybe I put up too high of a bar for other people maybe because I I like to give over 100%, and if I'm not ready to do that, whether it's massage therapy or the energy work or shamanic work I do, if I'm not ready to do that, I need to reschedule them
Yeah.
because because it's not fair to them and it doesn't feel good to me either, or it wouldn't. I want to be in the best I can be, to give forth who I represent, is
Yeah.
how I see it. So I, I do my best not to live with any regrets.
That's
I'm
so
learning still to be all that I can be, and to not hide who I am, because what I do is, could be, um, kind of scary for some people, but really it's all in the essence of God and Creator. And oh my God, I wouldn't work in any other space.
yeah.
Like that's the universal law, and that's the law I abide by.
Yeah.
With honoring those I work on, whether it's massage therapy or working with their fine-tuned energetics.
Yeah.
So um, yeah.
That's
Well,
very,
that was
that's amazing. And like I could sit here all day and listen to you. You're so peaceful.
oh,
Yeah, I love it. So,
oh,
for those who don't know, so when you're born and you can remember like as far back as when you were born and you can see energy and feel a different person, like their true person, their true self at a very young age, would that be like a
their spirit.
star child?
Mhm.
Would that be like a star child or light
Well,
child or
we all come from the stars, really.
yeah.
It's about how much you want to show your light, right?
Yeah.
Um, I, I, some people that come to me have a difficult time connecting, um, or why things keep on happening,
Yeah.
in their lives, to stop them in their growth patterns. And so my job, one of the reasons I specifically am here is to help clear. I was sent. I chose to come here to help people clear all they needed to clear, to help them be who they truly are, and to do what they're here to do.
Yeah.
And um, to
Yeah.
me, that's such an honor, you
Oh, it
know.
is.
And um, and I, over time, like, I've worked hard with my spiritual growth and my awakening,
Yeah.
and because that was just me from birth. Like, I I I remember even being in my mom's womb. I wasn't even formed into a child yet,
Yeah.
and I remember her going to a funeral, and I could see through her stomach to the people out there, and I pinpointed, to a person in the corner that was feeling very sad, um, and I just started automatically trying to help. And I didn't realize until I had an injury, back, like in 2010, and then by 2012, I personally had to learn how to walk again and use my right arm again
Oh my
from
goodness.
these injuries. And that was 2 years of very much trauma for me. And I it yeah, it was so difficult because I anyways, before I forget, I'll just mention that
Yeah.
during my healing process of these injuries, while I was getting worked on just regular massage therapy, as they were working on certain tissues, because we hold memories in our cells, in our bones, and all our cells of our body. Like, we hold those memories, and if you tune into yourself and you don't feel clear, or you feel heavy, there's something there. There's something that you need to go into, to relax into, and not be afraid of whatever's there, because you've already experienced it. Whether you brought it into this lifetime to clear, or whether it's a new experience, it's there for you to learn from and understand,
Yeah.
and and to let go. And when I see energies moving from my clients, um, it looks like mist coming off of the water. So
Yeah.
if you relax into it, it moves off so easily that it's our fears and our, you know, some people even into depression, it's the chemical response, and you get so used to, if everything is happy in your life, and then all of a sudden that chemical response in you starts craving it, actually, and you'll create those same situations. You can even create from being happy to, in a few seconds, starting to feel sad and depressed because of those
Yeah.
memories that you go back into. The mind is so powerful, so we need to learn to use it in a way that is in more harmony with our spirits, I would say.
Absolutely.
So um, it's important. Like, I even find myself going into old patterns in my mind. Like, I can be feeling really great, and then all of a sudden my mind will kick in. Hey, well, what about this though? Remember
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
And I'll start down in my frequencies, and I'm thinking, holy man,
Yeah.
that was fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I even find that I even find that if I'm like walking through a doorway or down the hall or something, if I even start thinking something negative about somebody or about myself, oh man, I'll bump into the damn. Oops, sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
I'll, I'll, I'll bump into the wall,
Yeah.
and like within seconds, less than seconds, right?
Yeah.
And and that's my body telling me, and my spirit, like, hey, watch what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Don't think that way about yourself. So, I'm still learning too, and I have my down days too, because I'm in an earth body, right?
Yeah.
I still have stuff to clear. Like, I don't think there's one perfect soul on this planet, really.
Yeah.
Like, even the Buddhists that spend all day chanting and everything and praying, they're able to hold that space, and they're beautiful beings. They often, in sessions, depending on my client, I'll hear them chanting or singing for that client.
Oh,
The energy comes in the field for them,
yeah.
um, and but they're able to do that because of their lifestyle, and they're not
Yeah.
bombarded by stuff that we deal with every day in relationships or work or our own emotional stuff that we've experienced, until we heal it, um, and release it. They don't have to deal with all that. So they
Yeah.
are able to hold that space. And that's great, because I believe they're one of the glues that hold this planet together,
Yeah.
right? So everybody has their part. But, don't, like, when you're going through stuff, don't give up on yourself. And, you know, I mean, and try not to give up on other people either, because they're going through their stuff. And,
Right.
like, believe me, I've given people that have hurt me opportunities, over and over again, because I can feel who their spirit really is. So it's like, come on, like,
Yeah.
connect to that person. That's who I know who you are. But a lot of people aren't ready for that, and we can only take so much, right?
Yeah.
And then we have to walk away or make choices to change that relationship, quite often,
Yeah.
really.
Oh, yeah. I
So,
mean, sometimes they don't
so,
even, they haven't had their aha moment or their learning. They haven't learned just quite that
yeah.
enough. And, it just takes some time, right?
And some of them in their lifetime have chosen that path too.
Yep.
They aren't ready to move forward, or anybody that says anything positive to them. Like I've watched it in my own family, or others, and like somebody might say something to them, and that situation or that isn't going to change until they're truly ready. So
Yeah.
stop holding your breath, and when you're doing that for someone, they have to follow their own paths too, and you
Yeah.
just have to kind of step back sometimes and take care of you, especially if you start to lose yourself, in
Absolutely.
relationship of whatever it is, whether it's work, of the demands of companies and that. Because honestly, they like I've even worked for people. Oh, we care about you and all this, and
Yeah.
I take care of my mom, and oh yeah, we understand. But really, when
No.
it comes down to it, they really don't, and they're not. They think they might be coming from the right place, but a lot of times they aren't. Especially if something happens that isn't supportive of you and that you feel in your own heart. So you always have to take care of you, and with most companies out there, really it comes down to money for them,
Yeah.
right? Like there's not very many people out there that they're looking after themselves and their business most of
Yeah.
the time. It's not very often that you can align with people that are similar to you, and when you do, it,
Yeah.
and it's joyful going there, and your productivity is different,
Yeah.
and you can express yourself, you can be who you are. Like like look for an occupation or a company or a workplace that brings you joy, because you're going to be spending most of your time there with those
Yeah.
doing that job or with those people. So have fun at it.
Right. Yeah.
One of the things that I heard or read a long time ago when I first started my career was a master in the art of living knows not whether he is working nor playing. To him, he is doing both.
Oh,
And I've felt that for many years, and that's what I strive for personally.
yeah.
Um, because like I, I love what I do,
Yeah.
and massage therapy is harder work for me than doing specific frequency work. But I mean, even the other day, I did a quite a heavy duty session with somebody where I was working like 5 hours with them,
Oh,
and
wow.
um, somebody said the other day to me, Anne, you know, how do you keep in the shape that you're in? And I'm like, I didn't know how to answer that question. I've never had anyone
Yeah.
especially like the 2 years I was healing my body
Yeah.
too. I spent a lot of time on the couch, and I know I gained weight and lost muscle mass, and I hated that. It felt awful, but there was nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And as my body healed, I strived hard. Like even in my first year of healing, the physio said to me, "And you're never going to heal from this." Well, I don't think anybody has the right to say that about anybody.
No.
And I got so angry, and I thought, I
Yeah.
am going to heal from this. And, little did I know it was because they couldn't help me.
Yeah.
Like their focus and level of how they work weren't listening to what my body needs were, because it was more my nervous system at that time that needed help and reprogramming.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the right physio for me. And so I found a physio that showed me how to reconnect with my body, because I felt so disconnected.
Yeah.
Um, it was very unusual for me. And um, and yeah, I I didn't realize what I went through really for years later. So, um, what actually happened, because it was an immediate trauma, like a surprise trauma.
Mhm.
And the way I rotated my body, it affected my nerves. Um, it affected so many things that were not proven by many tests. They couldn't figure out what the heck was really wrong with me, except for when I went to this new physio. She, like, when I ended up in the hospital for like just over a week, I think,
Mhm.
when my body just had enough, like all my symptoms magnified. I was working on a client actually, and yeah, all my symptoms magnified. She called the ambulance. I'm like, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. But really, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she did. But like even in emergency, I'm looking at them. I can't communicate. Like I'm having a hard time talking even. And I can't, I'm having a hard time and further hard time with even communicating how I feel. And I was given a phone. I wanted a phone because my mom was visiting at that time, and I needed to let her know I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so she wouldn't worry. And anyways, um, uh, it was kind of funny because I think she just went to bed and
Oh,
and she never did answer the phone. I had a friend come the next day, I think, and knock on the door. But during that time, I'm across from the emergency desk there, and they gave me a phone. Well, I couldn't remember how to dial that phone even.
oh my
I
goodness.
I tried for like I was looking at the clock and I tried for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something to dial numbers and I kept on messing up
Uh,
and 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 they weren't even observing this, right? And and then I got up from the bed so they wanted to see if I could stand up and I had a hard time standing and yeah, they didn't know what the heck was going on with
yeah.
me. But I just knew it was from my injuries and my nervous system just kind of got fried. And um, and uh, but it was very scary because before all this, I felt always so connected. Um, I always felt so connected to God, to Creator. I felt I could hear my guides. I could see things so clearly.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, I couldn't. And I didn't understand what was going on. From the hospital room, I would look out the window and I was searching for a tree. I had to look at a tree because with what I learned over time, like, when you go look for uh, crystals or stones or anything, most people touch them and feel them and, oh, this feels this and that. Well, I never had to do that. I did that with some because I wanted to feel them, but a lot of those stones in stores aren't clean
Yeah.
either. Everybody's touching them and
Yeah, it's
from point
important to have them
B.
cleansed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so, for anybody listening, like make sure you do that for
Yeah, for
things
sure.
that you buy, or especially secondhand jewelry. Oh my God,
Yeah.
like,
And just go out and hug a tree.
yeah.
Hey, listen, Ann, I have one last question before we sign out for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's over so
It's over
soon.
so soon. I know. We're gonna do a part two. Okay. Does that sound okay? I
Sure.
know I could sit here for 10 hours listening and
Well, I hope I didn't jump around. I
no,
get
you didn't.
excited, so.
Listen, so what advice would you give a young girl just starting out and say, for instance, she was struggling with a lot of energy that she didn't understand, or a lot of intuitive,
Um,
thoughts that she wasn't
well,
understanding. So what a little bit of advice would you give to her?
okay. Um, well, I didn't understand what was going on with me either.
Mhm.
I went through my years and especially high school, and I thought everybody could see or hear what I
Yeah.
was going on. And it wasn't until my best friend at the time said, "Oh, I can't see that. I don't do that." And I'm like, "Oh." So it was interesting
Yeah.
because I could feel my energy. I just closed in. I just pulled it in.
Yeah.
I wasn't hiding or anything. I just realized, oh, um, mostly I didn't want to scare anybody
Yeah.
because to me all this was natural seeing things, and I didn't want people to think I was different, and
Mhm.
that so I was trying to blend in the best I could, and that was difficult for
Yeah.
me. And one thing that I always honored about my mom was everything I ever shared with her when I was working on clients for years, um, because everything is so private, right,
Yeah.
and confidential. But but I didn't tell her who these people were, but I would tell her different things I saw and experienced with different clients, and not once from when I was younger to now, not once has she criticized me or judged me, not
So
once.
good.
And that's a beautiful,
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
yeah, like there's not very many people like that. So
Yeah.
um so like for myself, I when I started seeing spirits like from older homes follow me home,
Yeah.
or looking through my window on this second story,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I had to learn myself how to protect myself
Yeah.
and to stand up for myself because nobody else was going to show me. So,
Right.
um, and I was very susceptible for many years. I didn't read books or anything like that on healing or anything like that, because I didn't want to be influenced by somebody else's journey,
Yeah.
because so many people are. They read something and they think they have to do that or follow that path. And my guides have always been in spirit,
Yeah.
and and God, creator,
Yeah.
like Jesus. Like Jesus is a master energy worker. He's a
Yeah.
healer. He's more of a master than anybody will ever be on this planet. And he truly knows how to heal.
Yeah.
And we all strive for that, right? To walk in similar, in his footsteps, I should say, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but still, our feet are different than his. So
Yeah.
they wouldn't be still the same footsteps. Um, but for anybody starting, I would say, truly trust in your own guidance. And if you're drawn to take any courses, like I've always wanted to teach courses on people that have taken Reiki to show them more advanced techniques, because so many I find get stuck in boxes
Mm.
of of too much restriction, that and we're not about that. Like our spiritual beings are so universal,
Yeah.
and we're we're capable of so many things,
Yeah.
and to work with so many beings that are truly beautiful.
Yeah.
um, it's really important to follow your own divine path, and truly it is connected to your heart, because of your own light being. It's connected in the center of your physical body of
Yeah.
who you are, that connects you to source.
Yeah.
And it's important to always follow your own, yeah, your own path. And like, if you're drawn to take certain courses, and instead of somebody saying, oh, you should take this and you should take this, don't listen to them. Like, listen to what is true
What you
with
want.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your guides will help you as well.
Yeah.
So feel within yourself, um, where your decisions you want to make. Any decision you make shouldn't be from the head. It
Yeah.
should be from your being,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Because
so cool.
because the head can, there's so
Mess
much
things
in
up.
our, yeah, it really can. Yeah, so I guess just follow your own guidance. And if you take something and all of a sudden it doesn't feel right, well, listen to that. Trust your instincts,
Absolutely.
and just go further. And a lot of times, like through my career, like even with courses I take with massage therapy, like I've never had to take anything to do with energy work.
Yeah.
That's all come naturally. Um, and I've worked hard on my spiritual growth with, and I used to pray, and well, I still pray, but and I used to ask to be awakened as quick as I possibly could,
Yeah.
that my physical body could um, hold, like,
Yeah.
as quick as I could. And that's exactly the speed they did. And it went so quick, everything I was being shown, and every session was exciting and different, and somehow I just knew what to do. And um, I just learned to trust. And especially when I went through the stages of learning to use my voice to move energies, and
Yeah.
whistle and blow, and to move energies in the field or the body or whatever. And I would hear the songs. I would hear, they would guide me, and if I didn't follow through it, they would just keep on repeating and
Yeah.
repeating. And I'm like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah.
And and I would do it, or or if information came for that person or something about their body, I was afraid to share with them.
Yeah.
And I would feel the encouragement, and then I would say it in as delicate way as I could. So I just learned over the period of time to trust
So
in my
listen to your
guidance.
heart and trust, and
Yeah,
have faith in who you are inside.
yeah, yeah,
Well, that's a
because
great way to end this.
we're
You know,
gonna
we have to,
expand all the time.
encourage lots of people to go with their heart, to, just have faith in the journey, right? And just
Yeah,
enjoy each day.
yeah. Well, I mean, oh, I don't know how many years ago, but I would have never have guessed that I'd be working with animal spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I would like, or the work I'm doing. Like, my spirit knew, but my soul part, like,
Yeah.
I feel we have a soul part and a spirit part, and our journeys here were, um, what the soul is, what carries all our memories, like our lifetime memories.
Yeah.
And our spirit, like, we're meant to clear all we can clear,
Yeah.
and realign and become one with our spirit self. So the soul and spirit are then one, and
Yeah.
support each other and work together. So
That's
uh,
cool. Well, thank you, Anne.
you're
I
welcome.
really
Like,
appreciate that. And we're going to have you back for sure. And we're going to continue this conversation. Does that sound good?
that sounds great. And I
Okay.
hope I didn't
No,
go
you're
into too
perfect.
many things for everybody, but
No, that's why we're going to do a part two, because there's more. Okay, well,
well,
I'll let you go, and I really appreciate you being here. And we will definitely rebook you and have you back. Does that sound good?
uh, well, thanks, Jacqueline. And
Okay.
everybody take care,
Yeah. You
and
too.
one step forward all the time. We all
All
have
the
to do,
time.
right?
Yeah.
And just remember, everybody, that we all go through stuff, and you can get through it. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough sometimes, but we're stronger than we think,
Yeah. Well,
So,
thank you, Anne.
yeah.
So you have a good day,
Thank you.
and we'll
Thanks, you
talk to you
too.
soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining the Three Moons, Three Souls podcast.